Hello and welcome back to Foose Entertainment. This time for my review of 2015's The Avengers Age of Ultron. This is the 3D version, as you can see. Alright, first on the 3D. I was actually quite surprised. I remember the 3D being all that great in this movie. Kind of reminded me a whole lot of Captain America the Winter Soldier in that regard. But like Captain America Winter Soldier, it seems that maybe on the modifications I did to the theater, since last time I watched these movies, that this makes them look a whole lot better in 3D. Because it definitely does have a lot of good sequences that really make fair use of the 3D, which I definitely enjoyed. I would say that still is nowhere as good as, like, say, the Guardians of the Galaxy films, which were amazing in 3D. But still, it's a pretty good 3D gem for what it is. Now, plot and premise of the movie. Taking place not too long after Captain America the Winter Soldier. Sure to think of the timeline of the Guardians of the Galaxy films as like a spin-off. The Avengers are attacking, of course, the last remaining Hydra base, which we saw in the post-credit sequence of Captain America the Winter Soldier. To where, of course, our foe is, engaging Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And they're attacking. And basically, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver characters escape, and they start a little coup of screwing around with the minds of our heroes. And this, of course, makes an introduction to Ultron. Ultron is a program to create artificial intelligence that is controlled by Stark Industries. Will Banner and Stark are creating it using the scepter, which they retrieved, Yoki's scepter, and basically they weren't successful. At least they thought they were not. And Ultron comes into existence and desecrates Jarvis and attacks the Avengers. We'll just go after Ultron, and Ultron is everywhere now because he can possess any Iron Man drone, as well as any technology, although they didn't really go that far in this movie. It's mostly just taking over and possessing all of the, Iron Man drones that Stark has, and making copies of them. I might add, Ultron is voiced by James Spader from Blacklist, as well as Stargate, Supernova, and other great movies. So, very good veteran actor to have in this one. And of course, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver team up with Ultron to take out the Avengers. And they, Scarlet Witch effectively turns the Avengers sort of mad, having delusions, and pretty much controlling their minds. Sorry, the cat's in the way. What the cat needs, but he's in the way. But basically, that splits them all up. And of course, the big desecration of that is the Hulk goes berserk and wreaks havoc. Almost like sort of wish like press the rage button inside of his brain or something. A little perk on it is that there's a romance between Black Widow and Banner in this that plays out interesting in the movie, so I actually kind of like that. And now pretty much everybody's looking at the Avengers in shame, so the Avengers go into hiding, and we discovered that Hawkeye actually has a wife and children, and a secret life that no one knew about. And of course, Nick Fury comes around to kind of give everybody a push to do their job. And meanwhile, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver finally discover what Ultron's plans actually are. Now, Ultron was originally designed by Stark Industries to be a weapon of peace. So basically, it's supposed to just protect man and maintain peace on Earth. Well, unfortunately, Ultron doesn't really understand what that really means. He thinks that it means the only way to achieve peace is to annihilate humanity. And Scarlet Witch sees that. And how she sees it is Ultron, with brainwashing one of Stark's scientists with Yoki's scepter, created this organic artificial body. And while Ultron was attempting to download his consciousness into the body, that's when Scarlet Witch read the organic artificial body and to see what's going on inside of his now brain. Doesn't like it, and so they spoil his plans and escape. Then they kind of team up with the Avengers. And then that leads kind of into the climax of the movie, to where the Avengers have to take out all of Ultron. But of course, before all this happens, and before I forget, they get the artificial body from Ultron. And then Stark, playing mad scientist again, discovered that Jarvis is not actually dead. And so they find a way to put Jarvis's consciousness into this organic artificial body. Of course, Captain America tries to stop him from doing it, as well as Scarlet Witch, but then Thor comes and intervenes and uses his lightning and his thunder to go ahead and bring to life Ultron, artificial body that was supposed to be for him, but with Jarvis' consciousness in there. He did it because he kind of went away for a little bit in the movie earlier, because he had a dream sequence when Scarlet Witch was screwing with his head, and he saw the Infinity Stones. And so he tells everybody, well, the stone that's inside this artificial body is the Mind Stone. And there's other stones. And this sort of, in a lot of ways, really starts to set up the rest of the movies to come after this. Now, the Infinity Stones were kind of mentioned a bit in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, but only briefly. And they were kind of nodded out a little bit in Thor: The Dark World, although you have to watch the post-credit sequence to know that. But this one really kind of full circles. Like, okay, we're going to commit right out there to you Infinity Stones, setting us up for, of course, eventually what would end up being Infinity War. And pretty much after that, they go to Cornova. Cornova, I think is the name of the city. And basically, the city kind of gets all flyed up and stuff like that. And basically, they had to come to the decision to somehow destroy the city and get everybody off of it. And this is where Nick Fury comes in and saves the day with one of the remaining shield ships, gets everybody off, and Stark finds a way to destroy the city so it doesn't kill lots and lots of people. And that's basically how that ends up being. And of course, Jarvis destroys the remaining version of Ultron, the final one, at the end of the movie. I mean, the post-credit sequence for the Avengers Age of Ultron is we see the Infinity Gauntlet, and Thanos saying, I'll do it myself, and putting it on. Which really does kind of set up the rest of these movies, like I said. And let's talk about the video quality. This one's back to being very, very, very dark. Ends up being a very dark looking movie, but that doesn't mind me. I mean, I don't mind these films looking a little bit dark. And but what's cool about this is it does still have a little bit of a cool temp to it, which was very interesting. And that's different from, you know, a lot of these movies in Phase 2. A lot of them were just completely dark movies, and there's not really much in the terms of cool temperatures at all in them. This one actually had a little bit of a cool temp. It kind of reminded me a bit of it was a good one that had a little bit of light in it. Well, actually, to be told, the only one that really did was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And that film was made more in Phase 3, although it was considered a Phase 2 movie. But I would say I really did like the picture. I always remembered it being very dark. Like I said, the modification stuff with the theater made it look a little bit better, but it still does look like a very dark movie. But I did notice there's a little bit of a cool temp to it, which is interesting. Now, audio quality. This is where it starts getting bad again. The audio quality for this movie, it has good direction of sound. So yeah, there's effects that fly over the place, but the problem this movie has is it's so muffled down by a decrease in decibel blast, dramatic blast levels. It's almost like the dramatic blast levels were completely lowered the entire time in the movie during this production or something. It's quite annoying. But overall, it still has a pretty good sound experience. I actually still enjoyed the sound of this movie, but it definitely is a step down. Happily enough, the films after this were more of a step up from Age of Ultron. Like I said, for people that are wondering, yes, it's muffled, but it still has a lot of good direction, so you can still hear surround effects and stuff. It's so not blasty and not dramatic and way too overly digital, way too compressed. I think it would be the best way to put it. So yeah, this is probably the weakest link of audio in all of the Marvel movies that I've seen so far this month. It was a little disappointment, a very big disappointment in the sound. But it still did deliver directional effects and still was theatrical. It just was very disappointing. So there's my little rant for the audio of the Avengers Age of Ultron. Anybody who's seen this movie on Blu Ray know exactly what I'm talking about. So they're not lying when you say that. And I got very high-tech equipment, and yeah, this film just, yeah. Well, that's my views on 2015's The Avengers Age of Ultron. I hope you enjoyed. And I did watch Captain Marvel yesterday, so I will be doing my review of that a little bit later. And I'll see you guys then. Until then.